who I understand right now has joined the conversation virtually. Thank you so much, Dauda Gombe, for joining us on the news.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
so yes, so of course, violent attacks have surged across several states in the north and the middle belt, with incidents growing more frequent, intense, and gruesome. You're a security analyst. What exactly is actually driving this escalation?
Well, thank you so much. And like I said last time, I think when we had this similar interview, lack of action from the side of government is what is triggering this, armed oppositions group to continue to escalate their, propaganda by attacking communities, by showing that they are here and they have the capacity to infiltrate or to inflict heavy casualties on the government and the good people of Nigeria. And this is a kind of a serious concern that government need to seriously take action, even though last week there was court judgment where about 100 and something Boko Haram fighters were sentenced in Abuja court, but that's not enough. A fight like this, guerrilla fighting and this kind of fight require, proactive measure, which we keep saying that the government need to, attack these people before they even attack. Go to their enclaves, fight them, kill them, create mayhem among them, show force, show power. That is the only language they hear, and that's the only language they don't want to hear from anybody. So actually, this is kind of a gap, and I think cannot be disassociated with lack of manpower, with lack of coordination and synergy among the various security apparatus in the country, and lack of enough resources in all ramifications, which require government to go back to drawing board, like we keep saying, sit down, look at local resources available, look at the gaps that exist, and find a way to, reduce this situation drastically. If you look at the situation now where we are, it's like we are trying to return back to pre-2014, especially in the Northeast. In the last couple of days, several communities along the Matru-Maiduguri highway were attacked multiply, and many of these senior military officials were killed. And look at the North Central, the tension is increasing daily. So it requires a holistic approach. It requires a coordinated response. It requires a timely action, a strong message to these criminals to understand that Niger State is a state that will keep remaining united. There is no room for negotiation or whatsoever reason. If they are there, they should know that they will meet what they are looking for.
Standard. Now, Dauda Gombe, let's narrow it down to Niger State, where community members and vigilantes have again been killed. It's part of a recurring pattern, not only in that state, but in several northern states. Is there a peculiarity with those states? Because most of the things that you mentioned are the things that the government at the federal and subnationals have said they will do. Whether they are doing it or not, we cannot ascertain that. But then when it comes to the peculiarities of dealing with insurgency and bandits in those northern areas and terrains, are there things that we need to put into cognizance? Intelligence, coordination, equipment, because we know that funds have been made available for this.
I don't think even the funds that they are available to the level that for us as analysts we think it should be. But yet there are funds, but yet one big gap is the issue of coordination. Because whether we like it, if there is no proper coordination between the different strata of government, among the security structure, there is need of strong coordination. You can see even yesterday, is it yesterday or the day before yesterday when the president was in Bayelsa, within the different army group, the naval and the army, we are fighting on something that we don't know actually what happened, but we are waiting to hear from both sides. So look at lack of coordination even there. Now coming back to say police, army, civil defense, DSS, whatsoever, what is the synergy between them? and now understand the issue of, the vigilante. One of the groups that these people hate most is the vigilante, because the vigilante knows them well and they are inflicting heavy casualty on them. But these vigilantes lack suspicion or lack kind of, weapons that they deserve to have, that they can fight these people well. And they lack the needed motivation. And even the community leaders, community members are willing to provide adequate information, but they are afraid. How many policemen do we have? How many military personnel do we have? How many of them, if you come out now and give intelligence report, how sure are you will be safe? You will not be attacked. You will not be traced. You will not be killed.
Well,
this is kind of trust that is lacking, that people are staying back and communities are becoming more vulnerable because communities are afraid. They rather wish to negotiate with these groups, pay taxes, give some tokens for their businesses to grow or to continue, for them to live in their communities, and other things done even to support.
All right.
We're saying it requires a holistic approach
now,
beyond just office discussion, beyond money, beyond equipment. There is need for us to build trust between the government and the locals.
All right, so Dauda, talking about a holistic approach, or whatever approach that we need to bring into this. Just days ago, an army general and several soldiers were killed in an assault in a base in the northeast. So, given the scale and persistence of these attacks, let's be very, fair and decisive about this. Shouldn't a state of emergency be declared? Shouldn't it be considered? I mean, something similar was done in Rivers State under an even less severe circumstance.
I don't think it is issue of emergency. We don't need emergency at now. What we need is government political will. Government to show the willingness, to show the commitment. Now, let me take you something. Let me digress a little. Now, when it is issue of politics, you will see the governors, you will see the president, you will see the ministers. Everyone is providing his support to the best of his ability. But when it comes to security, everyone is trying to say, no, we are doing our best. What base? Yes, we agree. The military personnel on the ground in the garrison towns, they are doing their best, sacrificing their lives, being killed every day. But now, with the recent attacks on senior military formations, my brother, we need to ask ourselves, how many senior military officials were killed within the last 1 month? In Kukawa, now in Benishek, and other places? What is really happening? What are the situation of our intelligence within the ranking? How is these things happening? So the reality is that we need to prioritize Nigeria. We need to go back to drawing board. We need to look like, I don't want to sound like somehow, appreciating foreign
I understand.
To say like, okay, let's do like America. But look at it, America, if you kill one American, they will send the whole of American troops to go and rescue or to kill those people who kill him. How many times America do successful operations in Nigeria to rescue their personnel? But we, if the military were killed, will only send condolence messages. We give them talking to their family. How
of course,
will they be motivated?
Well, of course, I think the underlying factor here is just, what you said, the need to prioritize Nigeria and Nigerians in every of our dealings. Yes. Thank you so much, Dauda Gombe, our security analyst, for sharing your expert knowledge with us on the news at this time.